Hello, this is an introduction to inventory in Pointless. We'll cover inventory counts, product counts, purchase orders, sales, and voids. In this video, we are going to look at a single item. This item has bellow, we'll just refer to it as bellow from now on, has a count of 100. Its retail is $25. We're going to edit this item. We see that it has a cost, and down on the right here is where the count is. The count is a summary of all the inventory. You can have multiple batches of inventory that would add up to 100. Over on the left here we have inventory, and currently we have no record of inventory here. So that count refers to nothing. It's just a manual entry of 100. It's important to look at this catalog as a reference point to your actual inventory, and your inventory is going to be a list of products that you've received over time. There's a number of ways to enter in inventory. One, you can enter in them here line by line. We could look up bellow by typing it in, and then we could put in information about the inventory item here. We're going to do a little bit different way. We're going to enter this in as a purchase order. A purchase order allows you to enter in multiple line items and work on a large order of different products that you're going to enter in at the same time. So what we do is we go to Other, New. As a manager, you'll have the option for non-sales transactions. We have purchase order here. Now a new purchase order has been started, and we can scan the barcode of that item. Here it looks similar to a regular sale. What I would do is, after I scan items, we go to List View. This allows us to change the quantity and change the cost. So as a manager, you can enter in values here and change them. We can see the quantity and the cost is included in this. This transaction is not going to go towards your sales. Even though we could close it out here, it would not be calculated into the total sales. Once we've scanned and modified all the items that we're entering, we would then hit Inventory Manifest. This populates our inventory screen that we saw earlier, and it also allows us to enter in details about the purchase order. We're going to keep it simple this time. We're going to ignore the heading section here. We're going to go over to Items, and we see that we have this item here, just one item this time. We're going to assign it a location of in-store. So we could put it in the storeroom, or we can split this up into different packages after it's received. So we can put this in the storeroom, and then we can hit Receive All. All the items would be accepted. Then we can close this out, and we can go over to Catalog. If we look at bellow, we see we have 200 now. If you noticed earlier, the initial cost of that 100 items was $10. We now added 100 more items with a cost of $15 per item. That yields an average cost of 12.5, so it's updated the cost of goods here. If you do not scan the barcodes directly from the inventory you've located, it uses this barcode to include the average cost rather than that direct cost of $15 per item. Over in inventory, we now have one line item of 100, and it's located in the storeroom, and its cost for this item is 15. At this point, you could print labels. You could then scan this batch directly, and it would always take from this piece of inventory. Otherwise, when you scan from the catalog the barcode for bellow, it will use a FIFO inventory system where it pulls the first item out of inventory. What we'll now do is grab this barcode. We'll create a new order. We'll scan the item, and we get a message. The item was not added. It might exist, but it's unavailable to sell. Let's go back to the catalog. Let's go back to the inventory, and we see storeroom here. If we look at our locations list here, we see that the storeroom is an inactive area. So anything that's in the storeroom we cannot sell from. Let's go back to inventory. Let's select this item. We'll select this, we select the location, and we'll move the location to in-store, and we'll move all of the items into the store. Now I will start a new order. I'll scan the item, and there we have the item added, and it adds that serial number here, so it indicates what batch it's from. If we head back over to the inventory real fast, we'll see that the inventory hasn't changed yet. There is a setting under transactions right here, update inventory on scan. So you might choose to update inventory as it's scanned into the transaction, or you might choose to update your inventory at the time the transaction is closed. Another time that the inventory could be updated is when you send the item to be prepared. If items need to be packaged or prepared in any way, you would press the send button or the label button prior to completing the sale usually, or it's automatically transmitted when completing the sale. If we press send now, we get a message that it's sent to prep. If we go back to inventory, we'll see that we're now at 99. At this point, the user would have to void the item rather than being just allowed to delete it. So it's usually a manager function to void. And we would be asked to include or not include. Sorry, I did that fast. You could go back and pause. Essentially, you're asked if you want to return the item to inventory or not. And here we see that the inventory has been returned to 100. Before we conclude here, I'm just going to cover a couple of settings. Earlier, we were doing a transaction type of purchase order. So you'll want to make sure you have a purchase order, and these are the settings that you'll want. You'll have this set as 1. You will have retail enabled and show order type enabled. Then we were looking at inventory, and you'll want to make sure that you have the locations set up that are appropriate for you. I hope this intro video served you well. In the future, we'll cover label design, printing, auditing, importing, reporting, and working with third-party APIs like Metric. If you have any questions or comments, email support@PointlessPOS.com. Give us a call at 866-973-8099 or leave a comment below. Thank you.